There are, unfortunately, I think it applies to a lesser extent in other parts of the world, but certainly in Africa, you may be a continental state, but your economy is an island. And there are 13 main commercial ports in the region, and there are obviously oil and gas exploration programs as well. I mention this because, in fact, the priorities for these coastal states that have other serious concerns such as drought, poverty, HIV/AIDS, for them to service vessels that pass their coast is not something which they give much credit or priority to. So the 13 main ports has become part of our program, where we will try and upgrade the services in these ports besides trying to protect the pollution. The specific objectives are to improve the capacity of states to increase the safety of navigation and to reduce pollution, to assist countries to ratify conventions and to translate these provisions into national laws and regulations, and enter into regional cooperation. It's very easy, and you, I'm sure, are aware that many states sign all these conventions and they leave it at that. They don't translate it at all into any form of national law. And this is part of the project to encourage them to do that. And then to develop financing and institutional mechanisms to sustain capacity of countries to address issues of navigation safety. Our main concern, other than the initial program itself, is the sustainability of anything that we put in place in the years to come, and to build capacity in countries to control ship-based pollution. This is just, again, a diagram to indicate, which was taken from the Intertanker Seaborne Trade publication of 2002. It indicates the massive amount of oil that is passing around the southern African coastline. 155 million metric tons of crude oil per annum travel very close in the Mozambique Channel to the eastern side of the African continent, and then 55 million metric tons goes in an easterly direction south of Madagascar. The project has 4 components, and I might say that the project started as a result of a previous project that was held by the Indian Ocean Commission, where they assisted their countries, the countries of the IOC, in developing the oil spill contingency planning. And of course, the continental states of Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique in particular felt left out. So they went back, and the money was provided by the GEF, the Global Environment Facility. And we have, over some 20 years now, experienced very little support for maritime safety projects. If you talk environment, you get money. If you just talk ship safety or crew safety or cargo safety, you don't get money. So when they went back to the GEF and said, look, we would like a similar program to the one that the IOC had for the mainland, it was turned down. So I got involved with a couple of others at that stage, and we came back, instead of being reactive, we said we would be proactive. We would try and prevent the collisions and spillage rather than clean up afterwards. And strangely enough, the GEF liked the idea. So the money that's been spent on this project on purely maritime safety is in fact environmental money, and it's a little bit unusual. They are now taking a similar scheme to this into the Mediterranean, and they're applying the same principles and the same arguments with the GEF. Give us your environmental money and we will try and be proactive in this. So the first part of the component A is to try and improve the offshore trade that passes through the Mozambique Channel. And it's perhaps misnomer to call it a marine highway, because it's not intended that the marine services and charts that are produced in this will in any way cause shipping to comply. There's no control. It's not like the Malacca Straits. There's no authority. And we are hoping, and we have up to now, the support of the international shipping organizations to support where we are trying to give them a better service as far as information is concerned. I won't go too much into components B and C, but these are essentially to extend, as I said earlier, the oil spill contingency planning from the first project to Kenya, Mozambique, and Tanzania, and similarly with Component C. And Component D is effectively just the management of the project, and also to try and get countries like the Comores and Madagascar to go to the Port State Control, the regional agreement, the MOU, is to get them to sign and be part of that. The program, we have an update project steering committee meeting in Mauritius in April. The completion of the route survey by SHOM, I must say at this stage that we are most appreciative of all the support that we get from the international organizations, but in particular the United Kingdom Hydrographic Office and the French Hydrographic and Oceanographic Service, SHOM. They have saved the project enormous amounts of money, and we are hoping therefore to extend into a second phase afterwards. The whole of the route, I'll show you in a moment, has been surveyed by the French, and we are appointing consultants within a week or two to visit the various ports that we've identified, to establish what their needs are, hydrographic and ATN and communication, and also AIS if necessary. And then we will prepare, on the basis of those reports, we will prepare the tenders and put contractors in before the end of 2011. These are the basic ENCs, and I'd like to say that ships have been using the data and paper charts and ENCs that is in that slide now, have been using it for a long time. Some of the surveys are old, but a lot of the traffic areas are in deep water. When we came to consider assisting international trade, we felt that we should, at least if we're going to recommend a route, we should survey that route, or at least ensure that there are no seamounts. So this has been done. This is the actual route taken from a series of charts that we got from, and routes taken by tankers and other cargo vessels that pass. So we said, well, that is the area that we'll concentrate on. And as a result of that, the support that we are getting from France is that they've actually the vessel's on site at the moment. It's the Baton Papre, and it is surveying at the moment with some people, trainees from something like about 8 or 9 different states, as far as field as Sri Lanka, on the vessel, undergoing training on the route and port surveys. They've also, the French have also undertaken Mahunga and Tamatave. Tamatave on the east coast of Madagascar is not part of the project, but we're very glad that they are in fact surveying there as well. They will survey around the Comores and Mayotte, and I'll show you in a moment the route that they're probably going to take, and this is quite a significant amount of survey and survey data which we will be able to make available. This is what was done in the very early stages. It's a third of the route, and it goes extremely far south into South African territory, but we won't say anything about that. And that data is now available. I have that data. And by the end of, in 4 months' time, we should have the whole of that area plus 4 ports surveyed. These are the consulting services of sorry, there's a repeat of 2 there, but effectively we need to analyze the status of hydrographic data in the ports and approaches. We have to analyze the aids to navigation, maritime communications, both MF, HF and VHF, and the options for installations of AIS, and of course the status of port control. And then based on their recommendations, we will put this out to. Just quickly, these are the ports: Dar es Salaam, Zanzibar, Mombasa, and misspelled Mayunga, Bairo, Nacala, and Maputo. And these are the areas that have been traveled by the vessel at the moment. We're hoping to do CAP-B courses, aids to navigation maintenance. There will be MSI course and port state control. Sorry, I just did that. Thank you.
you very much, Nilo, and all the very best for this very important project for the region.